हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम 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 यू ऑल ऑन अमेजोन अकेडमी। आज हम बात करने वाले हैं एल्डिहाइड और कीटोन की, और बहुत अच्छे अच्छे सवाल करेंगे। ऑल दो बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है, मगर कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस के थ्रू इसको चीज़ समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, और जो कुछ टिप्स एंड ट्रिक्स है वो मैं बताऊंगा। तो हेलो 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 पूर्वांश, हेलो पूर्वांश, हेलो केपी, विष्णु, क्या हाल है? हेलो हर्षिल। सर, डीपीपी, एक मिनट, कौन सा डाउट है बताओ। सबसे पहले अपन डिस्कस करेंगे डीपीपी के बारे में, बात कर लेते हैं क्वेश्चन नंबर। अरे यार ऐसे मत करो, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन पूछ लिए एक साथ। 1 2 3 फिर अपना वो रह जाएगा। चलो ठीक है, बात करते हैं। एक मिनट। एक मिनट रुक जाओ, बस मैं डीपीपी ओपन कर लूँ। हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है। ओके, इन विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग रिएक्शन पहला लेस ब्रांच एल्कीन इज फॉर्म्ड एज मेजर प्रोडक्ट, पहला वाला सवाल। ठीक है, याद रखो दोस्तों। एक बात याद रखो कि इसमें हमारे पास जब भी हम बात करते हैं HEME की, तो HEME में हमको पता है। चलो वापस आ जाते हैं अपन, लिखने के लिए मुझे कुछ ना कुछ चाहिए होगा। हम शुरू कर देते हैं, वैसे लेक्चर शुरू कर देते हैं, उसके बाद ही अपन डिस्कस कर पाएंगे। तो जल्दी से आ जाते हैं हम। तो एल्डिहाइड और कीटोन, अरे वाह वाह, ये क्या हो रहा है? वाह 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 वाह। दिस इज आशुतोष गौतम। दोस्तों, लाइव क्लास बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस अब सबको पता है ये क्या हो रहा है। यस, सिस्टम रिक्वायरमेंट भी आप सबको पता है। और क्या पढ़ने वाले अपन मार्च तक? ये पढ़ने वाले हैं अप्रैल अप्रैल के, मार्च और अप्रैल के बीच में ये पढ़ेंगे। और शुरू कर देते हैं दोस्तों। प्रिपरेशन ऑफ एल्डिहाइड एंड कीटोन, ये अपन को बात करनी थी, मगर उससे पहले अपन डीपीपी के बारे में डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। ओके ओके ओके। सो वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस टी DPP now. Let's start the discussion. The question number one. Question number one says, in which of the following reaction less branch alkene is formed as the major product? Now what happens actually? This in case of HEME, that is Hoffman exhaustive methylation followed by elimination. In case of HEME, you need to consider simple things like this is nitrogen has the positive charge, and let's have an example. This is the condition. So when elimination occur in presence of OH minus, this alpha and beta, and this is alpha and beta, this is alpha and beta, this is alpha and beta. This nitrogen has very much minus I, which makes the beta hydrogen acidic. So more acidic hydrogen will get removed. More acidic hydrogen will get removed. Getting my point? More acidic hydrogen will get removed. Okay, TP. I got it. Okay, my dear friends. So more, that means nitrogen here, Hoffman would be the major product, because this let's say beta hydrogen would be more acidic, because there would not be any plus I. But in this case, there would be obviously plus I. That's why this would be the product. The product would be alkene and plus N. So this would be the product. So less substituted alkene actually forms. Getting my point? SA DPP question number 1. less acidic. Getting my point? Let's okay, more acidic. In question number 1, there is C6H5 and CH2 there, and then nitrogen, and this is ethyl group, this is methyl, and this is also methyl. So more acidic hydrogen we need to find out. We need to find out more acidic hydrogen. So this is alpha and this is beta. This H would be quite acidic because of the resonance with pH. That means this H will get removed. What about second and third? Yes, in second and third this condition arises. So this beta hydrogen will get removed. So less sterically hindered alkene forms in second, as well as in case of bulky base will not be able to reach to form the ZZF product in this particular compound. Bulky base is not able to reach to this hydrogen as easily as it can reach to this hydrogen, because this H would be sterically hindered by this CH3. So in case of bulky base also, Hofmann product would be the major product. So in case of third, this would be the product, that would be Hofmann. Let's move to the fourth. What about fourth? Fourth, again nitrogen has this side, and this is, for an example, everything, this is positive charge, and this is alpha and this is beta. Okay, yes, 2 carbons are there. 1 minute. So in this particular question, it is given like this: nitrogen and something ethyl, methyl. So this is the beta hydrogen and this is also beta hydrogen. This beta hydrogen would be quite acidic because the conjugate base will go into what? Resonance. I put 2 CH2. Okay. So this would be the product. In case of this would be the conjugated product will form. So answer would be what? B and C, in which less substituted alkene will form. Getting my point? First is clear? First is clear? Yes. Okay, let's move to the next part. What about NBS? NBS, the second question says NBS, that is allylic substitution, that represents allylic substitution. So what would be the product? Let's move to the next part of it. Allylic substitution, this is the question given. Allylic substitution, that means this is the position which is allylic, but this reaction occur through free radical NBS H nu. That means a free radical will about to form, and this free radical would be this will undergo what? Resonance first, and this radical can resonate and form radical also here. Now what about this? So it is asking what are the product can be formed. Now check out this double bond now can show Gi. If it can show Gi, it can not only be trans, it can also be what? Cis. It can also be what? Cis. So this can also be the radical, and please attach with the Br, and with the Br you'll get the answer. So answer would be what? A, choice A. Yes, choice A can be the answer. Yes, choice A can be the answer. What about choice B? Choice A would be the answer. Yes, where is choice A? This is the choice A. B is also there, and lastly fourth, this cis form, this would also be there. This is choice 4, this is choice 1, and this is choice 2. So answer would be 1, 2 and 4. That means A, B, D, Villiers. Clear essay? Is it okay? What else? This we have already discussed. Well, the question number third says chlorine has selectivity and reactivity ratio 1 degree, 2 degree and 3 degree hydrogens. We have discussed it in detail. The relative ratio is 1, 3.8 and 5. So now you can calculate according to the probability and selectivity data. Question number 5 has what? Let me check. Question number 5 says this would be the compound. Okay, this would be the compound. Okay. And this would be the product. Yeah, it was little confusing. Yes sir, this cyclic transition state, sir. Absence of H nu. Sir, this has cyclic transition state. Sir, no, it does not have a cyclic transition state. It has a clear cut radical formation due to during the mechanism. No cyclic transition state, not at all. Question 5 has the wrong option. Let me check. It's forming a ketone also. Ketone can only be formed in choice 3. Choice 3 can form the ketone, and but it is a wrong option. This could be like this. Okay, let me go through. I got the answer, real answer. These are the options. So the answer might be the mixture of choice 3 and 4. Let me try it. If I draw this by mixing the choice 3 and choice 4, if I do that, yes, if I do that, and if try this ozonolysis. Now try this ozonolysis. If I do the ozonolysis, that is in presence of zinc, that means reductive ozonolysis, this bond will break and form a bond. No, this is not about the form product. Okay, got it. There should be a difference here. We want this double bond here. Okay, and then we know we want this double bond here, and this should be what? HO. Okay, now try ozonolysis. If I do the ozonolysis now, this bond will break and form a CHO. That means CHO would be the product here. This side, this will form a ketone here. That means this would be the ketone. Okay, now what about this? Now this bond will break and form a double bond here, CHO, and plus it will form a acetone from this way. So I think this would be the answer. This would be the answer. So write down this answer, my dear friends. This would be the answer. Getting my point? This should be the actual answer. Yes, there might be a correction. There is a correction. There is a mixture of choice 1. Choice 1 has this double bond, right? Very good. Choice 1, yes, choice 1 has this double bond, right? Choice 3 has this double bond, right? So this is a mixture of choice 1 and 3. Okay, got it. Okay, let's move to the today's topic, my dear friends, and that is aldehyde and ketone. We have already discussed the DPP. Let's move to the part of it, and for that we need a page which we have already used in the discussion. I have to take one more page to discuss the preparation. Okay, so my dear friends, we have a bit little time, so we will do it through some questions, and we will going to start right now. So what about the preparation of aldehyde and ketone? There are many preparations, but you need to remember that from alcohol we can prepare from alcohol by many ways. The important conditions are, first one is to K2Cr2O7, but this is a poor condition. We need to keep something in consideration. If you are using Cr plus 6, this might be PCC or PDC. Pyridinium chlorochromate or pyridinium dichromate you need to take. Acidic, if you take acidic K2Cr2O7, it will convert the 1 degree alcohol. This if you take acidic K2Cr2O7, it will convert 1 degree alcohol into what? Acid. 2 degree alcohol into what? Ketone. And if you take 1 degree alcohol, PCC, that is pyridinium chlorochromate, or PDC, it will convert into aldehyde. They are what? Mild oxidizing agent. Then you take 2 degree alcohol, it will convert into ketone. I have done it from NCERT. Is it enough? No, my dear friend, from NCERT it is not enough. If you have practiced many questions, then it might be enough. Now next what? Next what is the first one is you can use this K2Cr2O7. The second part of this is you can use the copper 300 degree Celsius. If alcohol, let's say 1 degree alcohol is passed to copper 300 degree Celsius, that means it will convert into what? Aldehyde. And 2 degree alcohol passed through copper, red hot copper, it will convert into what? Ketone. Third is the ozonolysis method, through which you can form aldehyde and ketone, which we have already discussed. Okay, oxidation, ozonolysis. Fourth method is from alkyne. How to prepare aldehyde or ketone from alkyne? How to prepare aldehyde or ketone from alkyne? How to prepare aldehyde and ketone through alkyne? You have alkyne and you want to prepare carbonyl compound. What are the methods you can use? Let me give an option to you. First, hydroboration oxidation. Secondly, Kucherov reaction. Third, both. Fourth, none of these. So alkyne, you have alkyne and you want to convert it into carbonyl compound, it might be aldehyde or ketone. What else can be used? Solution of a question done. Okay, very good, very good, very good. Both. So we can use HBO, that is hydroboration oxidation also. It will convert into what? Aldehyde and or ketone. Let's have an example. If you are using BH3THF and H2O2OH minus, it will hydrate the alkyne in this way, anti-Markovnikov addition, and this through the phenol it will convert into the keto form, and this would be the product. It is as simple as that. In case of Kucherov reaction, we are using HgSO4 1% with H2SO4. Markovnikov addition will occur, and this would be the hydration process, and lastly we will get a ketone here. The question can be asked, let's say an alkyne would be given, this side an arrow would have been given, and the other side this reagent would have been given, and question being asked, what would be the relation between the product? ये रिश्ता क्या कहलाता है? What would be the relation between these two products? What would be the relation? What would be the relation, my dear friends? What, Stephen? Where is Stephen? No, it's not Stephen reduction. Stephen is different. SnCl to HCl. Position isomers? Don't you think they are not position isomers? Enantiomers? No. Let me give options. Oh, this question might be important. Okay, this might be position. They are positional isomers. By seeing your comments, this might be important. Or functional isomers. There are two options only. Yes, they are functional isomers, my dear friends. They can confuse you like this. They can confuse you like this. What is the relation between this and this? Tell me, what is the relation between these two? They can confuse you like this. What is the relation between this A and B? Which kind of isomers? A, position, B, functional, C, none of these. What is the relation between A and B? B. PG says B. KP says B. Okay, functional. Now you got it. Now you got it wrong. Your answer is absolutely wrong. Check out once again. They are not functional isomers. These are not functional isomers. These are not functional isomers. Yes, GA. What is your name? GA. Absolutely correct. C is the answer. Check out once. They can confuse you like this. It has only 3 carbons, but it has 4 carbons. They are not at all isomers. They have different functional group, aldehyde and ketone, and they have different numbers of carbon. Hello, porous. Huh? Yeah, okay. Getting my point? They can confuse you like this. Don't get confused. So they are not at all isomers because number of carbons and functional group both are different. So HBO, Kucherov, yes. So these are the things through which you can prepare what? Aldehyde or ketone. Now next, let's move to the next part. You can prepare from Grignard reagent also. You can prepare from Grignard reagent also. Okay. So you have Grignard reagent CS3, C double bond O, sorry, CS3, MgBr for an example. And you have multiple options like this. You have CH3, C double bond O Cl. What you have CH3, C double bond O CH3, plus you have CH3, C double bond O C double bond O CH3, plus you have CH3, C double bond O OH. If you want to form a carbonyl compound from all these, the reaction which is going to occur would be what? A. The reaction would occur be SNAE, or it would be nucleophilic addition. What is SNAE? What is SNAE? What is SNAE? If you want to react this Grignard reagent from these compounds and want to prepare carbonyl compound, the reaction should be SNAE or nucleophilic addition. SNAE, that means yes, SNAE is full form of SNAE is nucleophilic substitution via addition. Firstly, addition will occur and followed by the elimination. So SNAE, nucleophilic substitution, or substitution nucleophilic via addition first and then followed by the elimination. Okay, getting a point? So what will actually occur? I'll let you know. This negative charge, which is this Grignard reagent, is source of negative charge. It will firstly attack to the partially positive charge or electrophilic carbon, and this bond will shift like this. Now what will happen? CH3CO minus, and this tetrahedral complex will form. This is called as tetrahedral complex. Now this tetrahedral complex collapse by the internal attack of this oxygen, and because of that Cl get removed. So firstly addition occurred by the nucleophile and then followed by the what? Elimination of Cl and regeneration of this double bond. Cl minus get removed. Getting a point? So this reaction is called as SNA. So now my question is, which of the following A, B, C or D will not be able to form carbonyl compound? A, B, C, D. Which of the following A, B, C, D will not be able to form a carbonyl compound by using this Grignard reagent? Which of the following will not be able to form carbonyl compound? They are acid or acid derivatives. If you have you saw it properly, that means you admit that these are acid or acid derivative. Whatever, yeah, D. Okay, D. Why D? Because this is acid which has acidic H, and this is a base. So before going to the nucleophilic reaction, we have a faster reaction to occur, that is acid base reaction. So it will follow the acid base reaction first, because neutralization reaction is the fastest reaction. So before going to the any reaction like nucleophilic addition, substitution, it will prefer to go to the faster reaction, that is acid base reaction, because it has an acidic H and it can act as a base. Getting my point? So this would be the what answer. Now let's move to the next part of it. Okay. Now next is what? Next, through calcium salts. We can prepare through calcium salts. Calcium salts, like let's say we have prepared CH3C double bond O, OH, and then they are reacted with calcium hydroxide to form calcium acetate, like this. Now if we heat this, we will surely get what? This ketone and CaCO3. How it will occur? It will occur like this: CH3 C double bond O, O minus, CH3 C double bond O, O minus. Now this is a calcium, and this is what? This is a ionic bond. Getting my point? Now we need to remove what? Calcium carbonate, CaCO3. So the trick works like this. We can remove like this. We can remove like this and form the remaining product. This would be ketone, CH3, COCH3, and plus CaCO3. So this would be the product. But to understand it better, I'll do it through some mechanism. Now this negative charge will go this way and create a negative charge, this carbon ion. Now this carbon ion, getting a point? Now this carbon ion will attack on this oxygen, this O minus forms and internal nucleophilic attack forms, and this will remove this O minus. So this is the way through carbon ion formation. This actually explains that there might be, if we are using two different kinds of calcium salts, two different carbon ion can form, so mixed product can also be formed. Let's have an example, a question occurs. So this is called as heating. Getting a point? Now let me understand, let you understand by this example. If different acid salts are given to you, if different acid salt, let's have an example. This they have given you a mixture of acetate salt and this. They have given you in a mixture and it was heated. So what all are types of carbonyl compounds can form? What all are types of carbon compounds can form? So let me, this would be CH3 C double bond O, O, calcium, O, C double bond O, CH3. So this carbon ion can form, this carbon ion can attack, it will form a CaCO3 here, and through this self condensation it will form a CH3CO CH3. So one is CH3CO CH3, the other might be C2H5 CO C2H5, and one mixed product can also be formed, that is C2H5 C double bond O CH3. Getting my point? Yes. Two self one cross, two self one cross, two self one cross product will be formed. So there are three type of carbonyl compound which can form if two different kind of salt of calcium salt can of acids given to you. So this might be the next process. And now let's move to the next part through which formation of aldehyde or ketone can occur, and that is this. Next is oxime hydrolysis. Oxime hydrolysis. Oxime. If oxime is given, then you can hydrolyze this oxime or imine into the aldehyde or ketone. This we are going to study in Stephan reduction. Getting my point? Stephan reduction, that means using of SnCl2 plus HCl plus RCN, through which can aldehyde can only be formed. Next, Rosenmund reduction, through which aldehyde can form. So these are two simple reactions through which only aldehyde can form. Getting my point? These are important things. Let's do it, practice it through some questions. Now let's move to the question part of it. This is the question. Write your answer quickly. So we are going to discuss very important questions now. So an unsaturated hydrocarbon X absorbs two hydrogen molecule on catalytic hydrogenation, also give followed reaction. This is a tolerance test. Tolerance test which is given by aldehyde. So X is a compound which undergo what? Reductive ozonolysis to form A. Now A under the tolerance reagent form this B 3-oxohexane dicarboxylic acid. You need to find out X. What is X? These are the questions which are being asked in what JEE Mains 2019 and 20. These are the questions of 2019-20. So this will tell you the approach, or it will tell you the mindset of examiner, my dear friends. So try it, and I'll wait it for some time so that you can answer it. GA says, what is your name, GA? What is your name? A. Okay. So firstly, we need to find out the structure of this. Gagan, hello Gagan. Okay, Gagan. So first is hexane. This is hexane 1 2 3 4 5 6, and dicarboxylic acid. That means they must be in terminal only, because carboxylic cannot be in the middle of the carbon chain. It can only be at the terminal. Now 1 2 3. If I count from here or there, they would be same. This would be the 3-oxohexane carboxylic acid, and that is for sure. This tolerance reagent oxidizes the aldehyde into what acid? So there must have been aldehyde there, because that occurred through ozonolysis. That means a cyclic compound would be there which get ozonolized and form what? Aldehydes. This is reductive ozonolysis. So we will draw a cyclic structure and we will give a number of it. 1 2 3 4 5 6, and there would be one between 1 and 6, there would be a double bond, 1 and 6, and at the third position there would be again a double bond, which will create a double bond O here. So this should be at least the product. This should be the sorry, X. So where is this? Come on, there, 1 2 3. Okay, 1 2 3. Okay, so this is not it. Okay, okay, this is not it. No, and the only answer is D. D for Delhi. D for Delhi. D for Delhi. D for Delhi. Yes, you can. Yes, you can answer through option checking or cancellation or elimination technique of options. Like, you can answer also like that. Now this is what? Now this is tertiary butoxide. Tertiary butoxide, that means a bulky base. Let me remind you about this. This is a bulky base which can go for Hoffman elimination. So what would be the answer? The major product of the following reaction is oblique R. These are the questions being asked in JMN, so it will let you know about the approach of examiner. So firstly, you'll go for the elimination, and that should be Hoffman, and then followed by the oxidative ozonolysis. What would be the product? I'll wait and then appreciate who will answer. Yes, HA rightly said Hoffman elimination. Yes, beautiful. So what would be your answer? D. D sir, D sir, D. D sir, D sir, D. Okay. AY, AY. What is your name? AY? Aman. Okay, Aman says D. KP says D. What else? PG. Purvansh. Winglet. Purvansh, Winglet, Porus. अंजलि, ये कौन आ गया? अंजलि भी है क्या कोई? Anyone अंजलि? Okay, someone write something else. Okay, MK says D. MK, what is your name? MK Gagan. Chirag. Hello Chirag. Okay, D. So you got it right, I think. Let me check. This is the leaving group, mesylate ion, or in presence of a bulky base it will form what? This CH3, CH3, CH double bond CH2. Now it will undergo oxidative ozonolysis. This is H2O2 in presence of H2O2 or Ag2O or any peroxy acid. This ozonolysis would be oxidative, so it will break and form. If aldehyde is formed, it will convert into the acid. So this would be the product. D would be the product. You got it right. Let's move to the next part. We have already discussed in case of alkyne, either you need HBO or you need something like this, HgSO4 and H plus. So what would be the major product? Tell me. Okay, hello okay, hello Anjali, hello Mihir, hello call. अच्छा, Mihir call. अच्छा, okay, hello Anjali, hello Aman, good to see you all. So what would be the answer? You need to check out these things to determine the stability of what? Stability of NCC, non-classical carbocation, and where would the water attack? This is very important question. This will be decided by these two substituents. The answer comes bade bhaiya C. Sir, won't be, it forms ZF? No, it cannot. As I have already said, this is bulky base. This is tertiary butoxide, which cannot reach to this hydrogen to form a ZF product because it is bulky. It cannot reach to a hydrogen which is substituted, present on the carbon which is more substituted. Because of the steric hindrance of these two CH3, this bulky base cannot reach to this hydrogen. It will snatch the hydrogen from the terminal carbon. This is the reason, my dear friend. Now what is this? Okay, answer is D. Winglet says B, DK says B, Purvansh says B, Bade Bhaiya says B. Okay. So what will happen? Firstly, this will form, and now the attack of water will decide the product. nucleophile attacks at the position where proposed carbocation would be more stable. That means if carbocation, clean carbocation, classical carbocation would have been formed, then on which carbon it would form? It will form either 1 carbon or 2 carbon. It will form a number 2 carbon because of plus M effect of OCH3. That means this water will attack on the second carbon because here the carbocation would be more stable because of plus M of OCH3. So OH will occur here. This would be C double bond C and OH this side. If OH will occur this side, ketone will also be formed this way only. So that means that means what else? What if we are D? What if we are C? What if we are something? What if we are Ye? What if we are Wo? So it might be the answer. It might be the answer A, or you can tell between A and C. Check out once again. What is going to happen? Very beautiful question. Your answer, your mind says A, but please consider this also. You have C6H5 this, you have O and you have CH3 in presence of H2SO4. It will firstly take the H and positive charge, and now the water will attack on the CH3 that will remove as leaving group. This is the called as hydration of or cleavage of ester. It will form or hydrate into C6H5OH and CH3OH. So it will not leave this OCH3 as it is. It will also occur, this H plus H2O will attack on this ester ether form also, and it will break down into OCH3 plus CH3OH. Very beautiful question. Bolo bolo bolo, come on. The answer would be C. So you might get happy that, oh, I found out that OCH3 will decide the product. So the first option is the one which you are actually looking for, but examiner have some other plans for you to get it -1. Got it? So this is a very good question. Let's move to the next part of it. This is aluminum tertiary butoxide and acetone. This reaction is called as what? You have alcohol, you have aluminum tertiary butoxide, and this reaction is called as what? This is very neglected reaction, my dear friends. We don't actually remember this. A क्यों नहीं है? A इसलिए नहीं है because this will also react with the H plus H2. This would not be the final product. A might be formed as intermediate or between the reactions, but this will not be the final product. This OCH3 will also get hydrolyzed, and because of this hydrolysis, this would be the product. Cleavage of. Getting my point? Come on. Winglet. Winglet says next question. Open air oxidation. Yes. If you take alcohol and aluminum tertiary butoxide, this is most neglected reaction which can be asked. This is called as what? Open air oxidation. No. Clear. Neetu says absolutely right. This would be the answer. Now let's move to the next part of it. X and Y following reaction. One is 1-butene. Okay. Let me draw 1-butene. What about KMnO4? Okay, I draw the KMnO4. Heat. What would be the product? This is as good as oxidative ozonolysis. This is as good as oxidative ozonolysis. What would be the product? Bade bhaiya D. Purvanch says D. Okay. D क्यों होगा? No, C. Okay. सी गगन से सी, नीतू से सी, अंकित, विंगलेट, पूर्वांश, ए बी सब कह रहे हैं सी. That would be great because it will break down and form carboxylic acid due to oxidative ozonolysis and form H2CO3, and this H2CO3 will convert into H2O and CO2. Or in other words, I can say it will convert into what? Formic acid. A formic acid get breakdown. This will form HC. This is very unstable. It can break down into what? CO2. Clear? Next, let's per iodic oxidation. So firstly, oxidative ozonolysis. Triply bonded this is the example. This can act as oxidative ozonolysis. This will undergo what? Oxidative ozonolysis. KMnO4 heat act absolutely similar to the oxidative ozonolysis. So in case of triple bond, if oxidative ozonolysis will occur, this will be the same product. Acid will form in the both side acid will form because they are terminal. This is very unstable. Formic acid is unstable. It will break down into what? CO2. This can further oxidize and convert into what? CO2 and water. In presence of KMnO4, very good oxidizing agent, it can convert into CO2 and water. Now, what is this? Which of the following compound is resistant to per iodic oxidation? Which of the following compound is resistant to per iodic oxidation? That is HiO4. We took HiO4, which actually converts what? Gem diol, mainly gem diol. It break down HiO4 and add OH to the both side. It will convert into what? Double bond OH, and it will convert into double bond OH. So what would be your answer? Yes, glycol into glycol or glycerol. That should be adjacent OH group. Or OH की जगह you can count NH2. You might have C double bond O also. So this either two OH group must be similar adjacent to each other, or in place of OH double bond O can also be there, or in case of this OH and NH2 can also be there, or in case of this OH and double bond O can also be there. So which of the following compound is resistant to per iodic? So this can oxidize. Yes, CO, OH, CO, all are adjacent to each other. This can be oxidized. This can also be oxidized. The answer would be, which cannot be oxidized is this, because there is a gap of a CH2 between two OH group. So this will not be oxidized by per iodic oxidation. HiO4. HiO4 is used to oxidize OH to OH at the adjacent position. First case, it might be OH and C double bond O. Second case, it might be C double bond O, in the third case, OH and NH2 in the fourth case. This can be oxidized by HiO4. Getting my point? So your answer would be what? Bombay, because it will not get oxidized to per iodic oxidation. GR. Answer is C. This is not the one which would be oxidized by HiO4. Now let's move to the next part of it. We have amide, then followed by hydrolysis. Compound A would be formed and E would be the gas. Now we are taking the A for reduction, and this reduction gives B. Now B undergo what? Oxidation, and it will form a C. So in following reaction sequence, select the correct option for identical pairs. In which of the following in particular reaction, which of the following would be the same product or identical pairs? तो बड़े भैया सारे ट्रिक कर दिया आपने. Come on. All important topics and questions are taken into this account. Through some questions we are going to practice. I'll take all the topics so that every small concept get covered. Eva, Eldol. Okay, it is about to come. Eldol. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Aman, KP, Gagan. कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. Come on, Purvansh. Purvansh says B. Okay. Purvansh says B. Gagan says B. Winglet says B. Saurav says B. Okay. So there must be the answer. CONS2, because of this hydrolysis, if we hydrolyze it, let's try to give it a trick. Hydrolyze means addition of water and water, that means OH and H. That would be C6H5C double bond H. Harshil says B. Everyone is saying B. Okay, so without a doubt answer should be B. This is an acid which will undergo LAH reduction and it will convert into C6H5CH2OH, and then further oxidation, so it will again form a C double bond OH. So this A and C should be the same. So your answer is absolutely correct. B for Bombay. JMS 2014 question. Very easy questions. Very easy question. Most suitable reagent for conversion of this 1 degree alcohol into aldehyde. We have already discussed this. We are just discussing based on our revision. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Very easy, very easy, very easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Neetu says B, Winglet says B, everyone is saying B. So we will go with B. Yes, PCC or PDC. Now, how this, let me tell you a very important thing. If you are taking K2Cr2O7 to H plus, this would be strong oxidizing agent. Here Cr has oxidation state of +6. Getting my point? In case of PCC, CrO3, we are taking pyridine and Cl plus. Here Cr has +6 oxidation state. Here also it has a +6 oxidation state. Why it acts as a mild oxidizing agent? Let me tell you the reason. It has a big reason. When we discuss about the reaction mechanism, we will actually explain the importance of water into it. So why PCC and PDC are behave actually a mild oxidizing agent? Because of absence of water. Here the solvent taken is CH2Cl2, not water, and here we are taking the solvent water. Because of this absence of water, aldehyde, which is formed by the oxidation of PCC, by the oxidation of 1 degree alcohol into aldehyde, this will not convert into diol, and we actually need diol for further oxidation, because the oxidation by Cr2O7 is based on this diol formation. If this diol will not form, for which we need actually water, this will not convert into carboxylic acid again. There must be diol formation. So the important point is, so why PCC act as or PDC act as mild oxidizing agent, although they are having Cr +6 oxidation state. It is also have a Cr +6 oxidation state, but yet this act as a mild oxidizing agent, this act as a strong oxidizing agent, because it has water as a solvent and it has non-polar CH2Cl2 as a solvent, which cannot convert the aldehyde formed into the gem diol, which is absolutely needed for further oxidation into acid. Very important, very important, very important. CrO3, that means it is given into what? Some non-polar solvent. It is not clear. Getting my point? Now let's move to the next part, is identify P and Q respectively in the given reaction. If this would be given, same question, similar question, absolutely easy. Acidic KMnO4 is given. I have already discussed and tell you this KMnO4, acidic KMnO4 can act as oxidizing agent. It can oxidize what? Alcohol. It can break, it can undergo oxidative ozonolysis also. This can only oxidize the 1 degree, 2 degree alcohol into aldehyde and ketone respectively, but it can damage to double bond also. It can damage to double bond, undergo oxidative ozonolysis also. Okay, B Winglet, Gagan says B, Purvan says B. Okay. So what about P? It will oxidize this into the ketone and it will break down this and convert into acids to the both part of carbon. That means, where is it? Either this would be the correct or this would be the correct. Now, what about PCC? PCC will not attack on the double bond. It will only oxidize the 2 degree alcohol into what? Ketones. That means, is there any ketone without disturbing the double bond? Yes, this is the one. Without disturbing the double bond, this get converted into ketone. That means the answer would be what? Sir, easy tha. Okay, come on, very good. Let's move to the chemical reactions of it. Chemical reactions, first one is very important, and that is nucleophilic addition reaction. Now, what actually happens in nucleophilic addition? Let me tell you. Nucleophilic addition is like this. This is the aldehyde. This is partial positive charge, and let's have an example. H and Nu comes. This nucleophile attacks here, and this bond will get shifted. O minus, and this is what? Nu, and this H plus is taken by this compound, and it will convert into OH. And getting my point? Let's have, if we take HCN, so similarly the product would get formed like this. If we take NaHSO3, similarly H goes to the oxygen and remaining part goes to the carbon. Getting my point? This is cyanohydrin formation. This is the sodium bisulfite reaction with the nucleophilic addition reaction. So these are very important nucleophilic addition reaction. So let's move with HCN. If you are taking HCN, the product would be cyanohydrin. Obviously, I have already told. This would be the reactant. We are taking HCN. We'll take into the basic condition so that it can convert into H plus and Cn minus. We'll take little bit basic condition. It will convert into what? OH and Cn. This is cyanohydrin. This would not be given alone. It then further it would be given like hydrolysis of this, or it would be asked like you will what? Reduce it to Cn is there, NiH2. So the product would be finally OH, CH2, NH2. So these are connecting reactions which can be asked. Getting my point? This can be asked. Further, it might be given as HNO2, which can lead towards diazotization. So this is the addition of hydrogen cyanide. Next is sodium bisulfite. So my question is, this is very bulky, the nucleophile. Which of the following, very important point we are going to discuss, will give white precipitate by reacting with NaHSO3? Mark my words, this has very big nucleophile, large bulky nucleophile, so only aldehydes or methyl ketones can react. This is a test of what? Aldehyde or methyl ketones. So which of the, let's have an example. This Which of the following can give white precipitate by reaction with NaCO3? NaCO3 form the addition product which is of white color. So only aldehyde and methyl ketones can give this reaction because nucleophile is very bulky. If we take bulky nucleophile, bulky ketones, it will not react with it. So why will only aldehyde give precipitate? Aldehyde, why aldehyde give precipitate? I have not told only aldehyde will give precipitate. Aldehyde and methyl ketones. AB. This is a methyl ketone. It has a methyl on the this side, so it can give. Similarly, it is aldehyde, so that means hydrogen would be present, which is of smaller size, so the large nucleophile can easily attack. If I ask you, it will not give because both side there is no methyl, and G cannot be the option now. Now, what is the rate of reaction with NaCO3? If I say the rate of reaction with A is R1 and rate of reaction with 2 is R2, what would be the rate of reaction? R1 would be greater than R2 or R2 would be greater than R1, considering the steric hindrance and electrophilicity of aldehyde. NC, we'll discuss it. This is not the right time to discuss it, my dear friend. We are still in the planning mode. We are planning many things and we cannot conclude right now. R2 is greater than R1 because there is less steric hindrance, and similarly partial, if we calculate the partial positive charge on aldehyde and ketone, the electrophilic center which is better is aldehyde because of no plus I effect of H. There would be plus I effect of CH3. So this is it. Next is what? Alcohol. Addition of alcohol and water goes hand in hand. They are exactly same. We are taking what? Aldehyde for an example, and we are taking, firstly we will discuss, let's have an example, water. Similarly for the alcohol, suppose this is a ketone or aldehyde and we are adding water into it. Water would act as what? Nucleophile. It will go like this and it will form O minus and OH. Now O minus will take H plus from the solvent and will form a 1,2 diol. Getting my point? So two carbons on a carbon on single carbon is very unstable. Very unstable. It can convert back into the ketone. They are unstable. They are unstable form. They are unstable. They can only be stabilized if the bond angle increases, or they can only be stabilized. This gem diol can only be stabilized either the bond angle between OH and OH increases, or in the case of hydrogen bonding. Otherwise, they will not be stable. For an example, in case of formaldehyde, the gem diol is very stable because there is H and H, and this is OH and OH. OH is of larger size. They will bully this H and says you are small, go to closer, so that we can have enough space to survive. So they will shift the H, and because of that they will get enough room to get stabilized. So gem diol on formaldehyde is very stable, about 99.9% will get the gem diol of formaldehyde. Otherwise, if we increase the side chain, the gem diol will never be stable. Getting my point? So now my question is, which of the following is oblique R? Stable gem diol. First one. Second one. Third one. Fourth one. All. This diol can only be stabilized by two reasons. either increasing the double bond angle or by the hydrogen bonding with the other compound. So what would be your answer? All. This is very stable. So let's have an example this, and if we hydrate this, this would be formed this. Now how it would get stabilized, because this angle is 60 only, this should be ideally 109 angle, but this is 60. That means some amount of bond angle is compensated, which get distributed in this area, and this bond angle increases from 109 to about 104. So they get enough space to survive. There would not be lone pair repulsion, which will actually make it unstable. Getting my point? The second one is called as chloral hydrate. You have already studied in organic and inorganic chemistry both, where you have studied that Cl sometimes form a hydrogen bonding. This is the case where Cl forms the hydrogen bonding and stabilizes the gem diol. The third one is this. If we hydrate this double bond, it can form two OH like this, and both OH can form hydrogen bonding with the nearby C double bond O. Now this OH has two OH group, and both get stabilized due to hydrogen bonding both the side. That means this can also be the right answer. So the fourth option would be absolutely correct. A, B and C. Can you find? Now next is ammonia and its derivative. So you must remember that ammonia and its derivative will act like this. We'll take 4.5 to 6 pH, and this would be the product. This would be imine. You can take this, you can remove this, and you can form the product. This would be the product. 1 degree amine say this would be the product. You can change anything from this R. This R can be OH. The product will change accordingly. You can form NH2 hydrazine. It will convert into hydrazone. You can change this R into anything. H2N NH C double bond O NH2. It will form getting my point? So let me ask you a question. If 1 degree amine is used, this would be the product. The name of product is A, Schiff reagent, or B, it is called as Schiff base. What would be your answer? Okay, don't mind if this 3 is given, or you can answer if it is singly correct, that answer might be 4 or 1 2 3, that everything can be right. So if we frame this question, what would be your answer? Your answer 4 would be right, or 1 2 3, anything can be correct. The question formation is not as good as it should be. It should be like this only, 1 2 3. If it is singly correct, you need to mark only one answer. Then the answer would be what? 4 all. If it comes into mains, that means you need to only mark one single answer. That means answer would be 4. So Schiff base or Schiff reagent, you get confused between those two things, Schiff reagent or Schiff base. You get confused into these. If it is reacting with 1 degree amine, this is the addition product, and this is called as Schiff base. What is Schiff reagent? Schiff reagent is used to identify aldehyde over ketone. Let's have an example: Tollens, Fehling, Benedict. Schiff reagent. Para-rosinylene hydrochloride, वो वाला scene जो है, that is called as Schiff reagent. Otherwise Tollens, Fehling and Benedict, you know. Addition of Grignard reagent, you already know this, my dear friends. We have already discussed to the nucleophilic addition. If we use CS3 MgBr, it will convert into what? Alcohol. this would be CSC, and this is O minus. It will take the H plus from the solvent, and this would be the product. So now let's go for the questions. 1990 question, as we have already discussed, please solve all the questions of 1995 to 2010 at least. If you do all the questions of this, mark my words, no extra you must say concept will be asked. We did a survey and researched among the students and the teachers, and we found out that if you did the questions of 2020 2000 from 2010 and you gave the exam of 2020 JEE Mains, you will find 97% of questions have the same concept been asked, which would have been there in the 2000 and 2010 question. So the formation of cyanohydrin from a ketone is an example of what? We are forming a cyanohydrin. This is an example of what? C, nucleophilic substitution, nucleophilic addition, electrophilic addition, or electrophilic substitution. B. Chirag says B, Purvan says B, Deepanshu says B. Yes, the answer is absolutely nucleophilic addition. Now the reactivity order. We have reactivity order, very important. You mark this particular question wrong. I don't know why. Third one is ketone and the last one is ester. So prove me wrong. What would be the reactivity order for nucleophilic addition or nucleophilic attack? If a nucleophile is waiting here and is going to attack and it has 4 options, what would be the order? Purvan says C, Neetu says A. Let the answers come, then I'll give you a hint, and then Raman says A, GA says C. Let me give you a hint. A nucleophile is in the search of what? This is negative charge. Is it looking for a partial positive charge? Yes. A carbon which would be having higher partial positive charge would be very reactive. Okay. So which carbon would be having partial positive charge more? We need just to find out this. If we consider this oxygen is supplying this plus M effect. Plus M will decrease the partial positive charge. Now what about this? This has plus I effect, which will further decrease the partial positive charge. It has hydrogen and it has Cl. Cl we already know minus I effect is more powerful than plus M. That means it is snatching the electrons more compared to the giving. That means this would be the highly reactive, because this partial positive charge actually increasing because of this minus I, which is higher compared to the plus M. That means A and D both are giving plus M, but A has powerful minus I effect that dominates over the plus M effect. That means this would be the first. What about this? Would be the second, where there is no plus I as in the C, then C. And lastly, if it gets stabilized by mesomeric effect, the partial positive charge will get decreased. So answer would be A. Yes, absolutely A. You get confused between this and this. You get confused between this and this. Sometimes students give the answer like this: aldehyde, and then first, and then the third, and then the fourth. This is not correct. The answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Cl has minus I more powerful than plus M. So it will withdraw, snatch electron. This is the question being asked in JEE Mains 2019 or 20, I think. So the major product of the following reaction. What would be the major product of this following reaction? You have concentrate HBr in excess. You have this concentrate HBr, and that is in excess. Excess means it can attack to the multiple positions. So what would be your answer? पूर्वांश, ओके कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, कम ऑन कम ऑन कम ऑन come on, try. We have concentrate HBr in excess, so it can attack on the multiple positions where it's supposed to attack. That is OCH3 is minus I or plus M. OCH3 is, yes, it is plus M and minus I both, because it is attached with the oxygen, and oxygen doesn't comes under what, neither alkyl group, or it comes under what, negatively charged species, so it will withdraw from the carbon. Let's say taking this, and it has minus I and plus M because of the lone pair present into it. So the answer is D. Anjali says D. B. Purvan says A. Oh. A question A aa gaya, then B and C is remaining. Somebody give the answer C also, so that we can discuss. A D A D A D A D. So you are confused between A and D. Okay. What is so confusing? We have already discussed about this. If it is ROCH3 and HBr is present, this ether is going to cleave. This would be H and this positive charge and CH3. Now what will happen? Br minus is there. It will attack and give SN2. It is, let's have an example. This cannot be break. This cannot be break because it has double bond character, because oxygen is going into resonance. So this bond cannot break. So Br will go for SN2 here, and it will form, this bond will be shifted here. It will act as a leaving group. So ROH will form, and plus CH3 Br will be formed. Getting my point? So firstly, this CH3Br and OH will be formed. So that means this is the correct one. First the OH should be there. So either the answer would be A, or the answer would be what, D. Plus CH3Br and plus CH3Br. Now it will not leave this alkene also. It will undergo electrophilic addition. Obviously, alkene CH2 is there, and plus HBr would be there, so it will undergo obviously electrophilic addition reaction. It will not leave this opportunity to undergo addition reaction, so it will undergo electrophilic addition also. Any point? And that would be Markovnikov addition. This is anti-Markovnikov addition. This will not occur. The answer would be D for Delhi. Getting my point? In which condition is OCS3 is minus I and plus I? Oh, it is very easy, my dear friend. Let's have an example. CH3 CH2 OCS3. It would only act as minus I because there is no resonance condition. Suppose a resonance condition would be there. This lone pair can undergo resonance. Now it can act as plus M and minus I. That means, what is the conclusion? Conclusion is OCS3 or inductive effect works always. There a compound, if a compound is minus I, it would always be minus I. It would, the effect would be working every time. So this is what, minus I would be working every time, but in case of plus M, there a condition needed, a particular condition is needed to show plus M. So compound, this OCS3 can show minus I every time, but for the plus M effect, it has to be in the conjugation with some type of bonds, this pi bonds. Getting my point? Clear? कोई बात नहीं. Let's move to the next part. Next question, which will remind you about the POC. An organic compound neither react with neutral ferric chloride. Okay, neutral ferric chloride. Yeah, this is a point to remember. Or nor with the Fehling. Oh, Fehling bhi nahi de raha. Okay, come on. It, however, reacts with the Grignard reagent. Okay, it reacts with the Grignard reagent and give positive iodoform test and positive iodoform. So there are 4 things to consider, my dear friends. Neutral FeCl3. That means no OH, no phenol, because they are test of, no enol, no phenol. Ferric chloride give characteristic color test with enols and phenols. Fehling solution test nahi hai, that means no aldehyde. Iodoform test is there, that means there must be a methyl portion of it, and it is giving Grignard reagent also. Okay, fine. So what would be the best option which will represent neutral Fe ferric chloride? That means OH must not be present, so this would not be option. This would not be option. Okay, so two option get cancelled because of this FeCl3. No, 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 no. Enol and phenol. So this is not the option. Okay, because of this. Now failing solution test is not given. Failing. That means this aldehyde will give a failing test. This is not the option. So A and D is cancelled by two things. Now it says that it will give a positive iodoform test. Okay, positive iodoform test. Positive iodoform test. Positive iodoform test is given by 2-degree alcohol, and it will react with Grignard also. So it will not give a positive iodoform test. It will not give positive iodoform test. So answer would be what? C. Getting my point? Neutral FeCl3 means neutral FeCl3 gives characteristic color when it reacts with enols or phenols. Actually, phenols are actually enols. Enols means enols only. So it will give a characteristic color with enols. Enols means that means phenol should not be there. So A is cancelled to this. What about failing? Failing is given a test for aldehyde. Aldehyde, there is aldehyde. Yes, this is aldehyde. It is not giving aldehyde failing test. That means B would be cancelled. Next one is it will give iodoform test. Iodoform test is given by either 2-degree alcohol like this, which will further this converts in presence of NaOI, that means NaOH plus I2. It will, this is a mild oxidizing agent, this will convert into this, and this part will give iodoform test. The answer would be C. So this is the way to cancel. Now this is again a very beautiful question. Let me ask you one more question. Okay. AlCl3 heat, and this is H2O. AlCl3. If you know Friedel-Crafts reaction, you will take this question for granted. This would be very, very easy. See, sir, here only C has OH. So sure answer. Why? What is the connection with OH? There is no connection with OH. What is the connection with OH? Okay. Very easy. If you have studied like DDT formation, the same mechanism occur here. This is AlCl3. Everyone answers A. Okay. It will create a electrophile here. AlCl3 is a Lewis acid which will go and create electrophile here. It will convert into positive charge. This is O minus, this bond break. This positive charge will attack on the para position of electrophilic substitution reaction. This is electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction, and now this O minus get the H plus from water, so that would be carboxylic acid. This is the electrophile which is being created like Friedel-Crafts only. It will attack on the para position of it, and this would be the product. This would be the product or not? This would be the product. Clear? Come on. Now this is the question. Whoa, this was the question being asked in mains, and many students did it absolutely wrong. This is the question mentioned in NCERT, but still the topic of debate. Why this question was this answer was correct. This was given in NCERT as it is the formation of what aldehyde and carbonyl compound like that. Somewhere A is the right answer. A is the right answer. A is the right answer. Okay. So what you are doing here is this. You are making CH2Cl, है ना? Come on, this, and then you are using H2O, and you are showing SN1 reaction, and you are making like this. This would be CH2OH and Cl. This should be your approach. Most of the student did this only and marked A as the answer, but the JEE Mains, in the JEE Mains exam, the answer was given as C. This is mentioned in the preparation of aldehyde, my dear. And they what they actually did in the NCERT, they made dichloro-derivative. Why, I don't know. It is mentioned in the NCERT that this was given Cl2H nu and toluene, they formed dichloro-derivative, and from dichloro-derivative they made like this 2 times SN1, and this will remove the water and convert into CHO. They give this reaction, and the right answer was given as C because of NCERT. How, why, I don't know. It is given, mentioned in the NCERT. Go to the NCERT in the preparation of aldehyde, and there is a reaction in which this is given CH3 and Cl2 and HNu is given, and then they mention it like this: CH and Cl2 will form, and then if you use water, it will convert into aldehyde. The issue was this must be the answer until unless you have not mentioned that dichloro derivative must form or not form. If this is given, usually people or student form what monochloro derivative until it is not mentioned either dibromo or trichloro derivative will be the product. So without mentioning it, they took from the NCERT, and NCERT took from somewhere, and they gave the answer based on the NCERT. So and they gave the explanation that it is given to the NCERT. You should read the NCERT first. So this was the, so what should be the answer? This is not the question. What should be the answer? The question is what is the answer according to NCERT. This should be the answer, but this is the answer which we need to accept. Getting my point? If the Cl2H nu is given, only one monochlorination should occur, and then it is followed by the SN1 reaction, and this should be the product. But in NCERT, in preparation of aldehyde, they actually did the different thing. They chlorinate this CH3 into dichloro derivative in any, not a specific condition is given into this, and then in presence of water they convert it into aldehyde. And they mentioned that it is given into the preparation of aldehyde in NCERT, so you should read the NCERT. We are asking questions from the NCERT, so NCERT become important. If something wrong is given into the NCERT and that comes into the exam, you can actually fight for it, because it is mentioned in the NCERT, and they are actually using NCERT to ask the question. So if we write something absolutely correct, and if NCERT mentioned something wrong, that wrong will be the right answer. Maybe Cl2 is not in excess, but it is not mentioned, no. Anyway, let's do the last question. Very good question, and this is based on the very famous reaction, your favorite reaction, that is aldol. This is intramolecular aldol reaction. Let's do it. What would be your answer? This aldol. In case of intramolecular aldol, you need to consider one thing. Firstly, we will check whether in the intramolecular aldol 5 or 6 member ring should form. 5 or 6 member ring. And if the ring have the same members, then the anion or enolate ion anion will be formed from alpha position, or enolate will be form of ketone, and electrophile would be of aldehyde. That means, for an example, if H get removed, if carbon ion is formed from here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 member will be formed. If electrophile, a carbon ion will be formed from here, 1 2 3 4, and this is the best electrophilic center, so 5 member ring will form. Definitely you will create a negative charge here, and it will form a ring by attacking on this CHO. So this is the best way to represent. If aldehyde and ketone both are given, you will form enolate from the ketone and attack on the aldehyde. This should be the approach. Yes, is NCRT the king? Yes, NCRT is the king. Chirag says B. Chirag says B. Chirag says B. Chirag says. Second one's C. Let's make it. We mark it 1 2 3 4 5. Then we'll make a 5 member ring. Okay, we mark it as 1 2 3 4 5. Now we'll consider at one position there is something like this. This is part of it. Now 2 has nothing, 3 has nothing, 4 has CS3. Okay, 4 has CS3. Okay, 5 5. Okay, 5 and 1 form the bond and form this OH, and now E1 CB occur and H and OH get removed and form a double bond. This would be the answer. Here double bond occur, the ketone. This is the answer. Where is this question? Where is this answer mentioned? Where it is? Where it is? Where it is? Yes, this would be the answer, my dear friends. Bombay. So this is it, dosto. Come on, this we have discussed many things: POC, aldol, and all main reactions, nucleophilic addition reactions. This is it, and let's make this class more interesting by doing a last question. That is very interestingly and very beautifully how to differentiate fructose and glucose. I must tell you, you will not give a correct answer of it. Let me challenge you. If you make me mark me wrong, that I would be the happiest teacher in this world. What would be your answer? How to differentiate or distinguish fructose and glucose? This is very tough question, but you can make it easy by searching side by side on Google. Iraq says D. The only person who answered D. If I were you, I would have been given the answer D. The answer is D, my dear friend. Fructose and glucose both gives Benedict and Failing test. And if Barford is not for this, Sally one-off test is to differentiate aldose and ketose. Aldose and ketose. This is the in which resorcinol plus H2SO4 is used. So this is the test which give a red observation with ketose, because ketose dehydrates faster. So if we take ketose plus resorcinol plus H plus, it will form a red color by heating. Aldose can also give red color, but after 10 minutes of heating. So this is the one which can differentiate aldehyde and ketone. Getting my point? MF, I salute you. Why? Thank you, but thanks a lot, my dear friends. This is it. With a promise of doing the DPP of this lecture and coming back to the next lecture, let's call off this lecture. So how was the lecture, my dear friends? This was the practice and important tips and tricks, and keep coming to the platform, and we'll discuss carboxylic acid in the next lecture. So till then, bye bye, take care, see you.
For detailed videos, daily practice problems and live chat, visit academy.amazon.in or download the app.